Are you new to collecting comics? Well, here are some things you need to avoid.
Wait, what was my line?
Line.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? I'm Guy Wozniak. Joined with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Matt.
Hey.
We're here to talk about some comic book collecting mistakes. But before we dive into that real quick, we are doing another giveaway. Nothing super huge, but we have some X-Men comics coming your way. All you got to do, there's a bunch more here. I can't hold them all up. But a bunch of X-Men comics coming your way. All you got to do is join our Facebook group, which is up to like 700 members already.
Yeah, it's climbing fast.
So there'll be a link down in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. Click on that, go to Facebook, join up. Sometime at the end of April, I will figure out a way to give these away to one of you guys. Now, with that said, let's talk about, Matt can jump us into it, the 10 biggest mistakes comic collectors make.
Yeah, if you're new to collecting comics, here's some things that we have learned through trial and error, and over the years, you really need to avoid. And number one on my list is not storing your books properly. Knowing how to store your books that should be a no-brainer. But, when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, I was just throwing raw books into a box. And I would flip through them and reread them and stuff. And the tops of the books got all destroyed and stuff. And those books, they were out. I don't think I have any of those comics anymore.
I never did this one, but I remember going to like flea markets back in the day, and people would be selling comics, and they'd have them in like large Ziploc bags.
Yes, I've seen that. Ziploc bags in like a regular cardboard box.
Bad idea.
Yeah. They can, they'll last a little longer than normal, but ideally what you want to do is you want to bag and board your comics.
Let's start this debate first, though. Mylar or polypropylene or whatever the other option is? Which one do you go for?
I go for the polypropylene, simply because the Mylar is a little more expensive. They are the superior comic bag. No disputing that. But the polypropylene bags are a little more affordable.
Oh, well, it adds up to being a lot more affordable.
Yeah, I have thousands of comics. It would take me a lot of money, a lot of time. Plus, that leads into another thing about bagging and boarding is I will only use resealable bags.
Tape pulls, the dreaded tape pull.
Yeah, the polypropylene bags, you have to use tape. Those are not resealable.
How many times have you opened up a comic book, had the little flap up with the piece of tape here, and as you pulled it out, got that tape stuck to the cover?
So what I would recommend, I do have some Mylar bags. I use those for my more prestige books.
Yeah, they look better. It's like this high definition, if you want to look at it that way.
Like my Avengers #1 is in a Mylar bag.
With a clear backing
board. But I have a clear backer board behind that. So that my nice books, like, my first appearance of Moon Knight, same thing. I have a Mylar bag. And I have the clear backer board. So that way it displays really nice. I can just flip around, see the back. It looks beautiful with that clear backer board. And those backer boards turn out to be about $1 each. So yeah, that's not something I can drop a lot of money on because it's going to add up quick. But I will definitely use the resealable bags because yes, you don't run into the issue of, potential of snagging on the tape. Yeah, if you have a bag with tape on it, if you want to pull that comic at, take the extra couple of seconds to just peel off that piece of tape and stick it on the side of the bag.
I always live dangerously. I have this technique down where like I can fold it over and hold it with that hand, but inevitably once in a while you let it slip.
That's the thing. It doesn't happen all the time, but that one time it does, and you just you pull off a piece of that, the cover. You only make that mistake once, maybe twice, and you learn your lesson.
So besides bagging and boarding, right, you want nice bags, you want nice boards, you want to change them periodically.
Yes.
They don't last forever. 20 years is probably enough.
The bags start to develop wrinkles and stuff.
Yeah.
The boards will yellow over time.
Sure.
But yeah, you make sure you use the acid-free boards and the polypropylene bags, the resealable ones, which would be my recommendation.
But also, don't, and I just have a stack of comics here, don't stack them. You need them to sit upright in an appropriate box.
You need to have a long box to put them in, or a short box, whatever. But yes, and then of course, when you're looking for bags and boards, you want to make sure you get the right size. That's important. If you put a current comic in a Silver Age bag, you are going to get a little bit of movement. But if you like the uniformity of all of them being in the same size in your box, okay. But yeah, I think BCW they have a wide range of sizes of bags that they make, and comic boxes and boards and everything.
Moral of the story is, don't take a piece of brown cardboard and saran wrap and think that that's going to protect your comic books long term.
Probably not the best way to store it.
I have actually seen that as well. Again, just from like bad dealers, hole in the wall.
Yeah, I've gotten comics mailed to me in a giant Ziploc bag before. That's happened. But anyway, I think we've spoken enough about that. You get the idea.
We'll move on to number 2 of 10 biggest comic book collecting mistakes. All right, here's number 2, and I have most certainly been guilty of this in the past, not so much right now, thank God, and that is not narrowing your collecting focus.
Yes.
I have gone through periods of time in comic book collecting where it was like, I gotta catch them all. I need all the X-Men's, I need all the Batmans, I need all the Hulks, I need all the Spider-Mans.
Who hasn't done that, right? I'm guilty of that too.
It makes it fun. It is fun to try to catch them all, but man, it A, just destroys your bank account, and B, you are constantly searching and you're never satisfied, and like you get something cool and it's never enough because you're just trying to get the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I think that by narrowing your focus and working on things incrementally, at least for me, in my experience, makes it a much more enjoyable hobby.
Sure.
You know, like recently I just finished my run of Alan Moore Swamp Thing. This is like 45 or 50 books. It's from issue 20 to issue 65-ish. Mm-hmm. And like, was I getting some other stuff at the same time? Sure, a little bit. We, you know, we're humans. But like, you know, I was really focused on that, and that was my main focus for the better part of a few months. And like, yeah, it was easier to get it actually completed. I wasn't like running out of money because I had spent so much on other stuff. And when I finally completed it, it was like, hey, cool, it's done. Like I finally did it. So yeah, I 100% think that this narrowing the focus suggestion is key.
Yeah, I think this doesn't really apply to buying new stuff, because you're buying a lot of new stuff because you don't know what's going to be good, what's not, you know. So yeah, you buy newer stuff, you dip in and out of new stuff all the time.
Yeah, sure.
This is mostly like yeah, exactly. This is mostly older books, buying older books. Yeah, I would highly recommend just really focusing on like 1, 2, maybe 3, completing those runs or collections at a time. And yeah, what that does is that, I mean, it narrows your focus. It doesn't distract you because, I mean, oh, look at that cover. Look at this. Oh, my God, I got to dig through this section, that section. I mean, that's fine if, like, you go somewhere and they don't have any of the books you're looking for. Okay, maybe you move on to another section that you want to, another series you want to fill in or you want to collect and stuff like that. But yeah, narrowing your focus and being, like, really lasered in on just 1, 2, or 3 collections that you're trying to complete. It really makes it a lot easier. It lets you focus more and really spend the time and due diligence to hunt and find those books.
That can even, you know, be applicable to, like, for example, right now, and not just right now, but always, I'm like pie in the sky if I could have anything. I want a full run of Amazing Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. But even within that, I started with, like, I'm going to get the 27 issues that Todd McFarlane drew from issues 298 to 326 or whatever, right? So, like, that was my focus, even though I had, like, a wider, desire, a wider focus still.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, when you break it into little sections and focus on that, that's a much easier attainable goal short term. But then you expand out and collect more and more, and then maybe when you're satisfied with that, move on to another interest that you might have. Or maybe you've stumbled across another collection. You're like, you know what? This looks pretty good. I want to start collecting that. But when I'm done with this, yeah, it makes it a lot more enjoyable, believe me.
Now, what if you're, working on a run? Like, I know you've completed the Chris Claremont, John Byrne X-Men run.
Yes, I have. I'm missing, I think, 1 or 2 books from my X-Men run, then I'll be done. And it's the Claremont run.
Mm-hmm. What if, like, you're collecting that, and this is not for you because you're focused, and this is like a hypothetical to the viewers, and you decide, like, oh, I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go work on Thor. I'm going to go work on Hulk. I'm going to go work on Batman. And something happens where all of a sudden those books skyrocket up in value. And because you lost your focus, now they become unattainable. And now you've got this broken collection that you can't finish.
I think that's a problem you can run into really collecting anything. Because, I mean, I would like I said, I might primarily focus on usually three things at this, three collections that I'm trying to fill in at the same time. I really have my laser focus on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does happen where I just run into dry spells. Where everywhere I go, I'm looking for X-Men books, and I can't find any anywhere, and at least not the ones I'm looking for. That happens. Sure. I can't find them anywhere. Like, for some reason, I couldn't find this one Ghost Rider book. I finally completed my Ghost Rider run. I couldn't find a number 19 to save my life anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could buy one online, but that's boring. Anybody can do that. Sit at your computer at home and just buy things. I mean, that's dull. I like to find them in the wild. But yeah, I couldn't find a Ghost Rider 19 anywhere. It's not a super expensive book. It's not rare. It's not a key. Nothing significantly happens in it. But I just couldn't find one anywhere. So you know what? I just worked on something else until I did stumble across it.
So yeah, be willing to shift gears when necessary. We're not saying like you have to just pick this one thing and that's it. You could have a few focuses.
Yeah, but I would recommend three.
Like Matt had said before we started this segment, like, don't just approach it with the shotgun. I'm just
everything.
Yeah, just grab it all. Because that's probably going to, unless you have the money to do it. If you got the money to do it, God bless you. But like for normal people like us, probably.
But yeah, if you want to start collecting other things, just make a note, of what you want to start collecting next.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, well, let's move on to number 3.
All right, and number 3 is not keeping track of your books.
I've been guilty of this one.
I have too. I've learned my lesson.
How many times have you wound up with duplicates because you weren't keeping track?
I'm telling you, man, like all the time. I have so many. Like the Demon in a Bottle.
Iron Man,
Demon in a Bottle, that cover. I would see one and oh my God, I love this cover so much. It's in great condition, a great price. I would buy it. I take it home, and I've got 3 of them already.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten triplicates or quadruplicates before, but I've for sure gotten duplicates.
Yes. I have 3 the Demon in the Bottle covers. I have 3 of those.
So, what is the strategy? How do you keep track?
Well, I just keep a note in my phone, of all the comics I'm looking for, and it's my phone. I got it with me everywhere I go. The only problem I've ever run into with that is my battery dies.
Yeah.
Which has happened to me, especially happened to me at MegaCon. But thank God at the time I was done looking for comics. But yeah, that's the only problem I've ever run into. But I just have a note on my phone and I could scroll through. It's alphabetical, makes it a lot easier, of what books I'm looking for. And then, I'll have like, okay, I'm looking for these Iron Man books. These are the ones I'm looking for. And I even do my due diligence, and I do keep track of what my budget is for those books in my little note. But yeah, definitely keep track of what you have and what you're looking for.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to approach this. I use an app specifically meant for comic book collection cataloging. The one I use is called the Legion of Comic Geeks. There's another very popular one called CLZ, I believe. I've never used that one, but I know it's really popular. But that is keep track of everything you have, right? And you can actually tag stuff as want, so it'll have a separate list of the stuff you want.
Okay.
Or, do you want to keep track of what you have, or do you want to keep track of what you need? That's the question. I prefer to know what I have, because then when I'm at a store, at a convention or whatever, I can go, do I have this? And I can check. Versus do I need this and then I have to check. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But I think I like to have the have list, not the need list.
Okay, I'm the other way. I have the need list. I need these books. Yeah, but definitely keep track of your books. It makes it so much easier and it prevents you from wasting money on duplicate books.
And either way, keep track of what you have, keep track of what you need, have some idea of one or the other. Otherwise, you might have some problems. Unless, like I said, you got money to blow and like, hey, if I end up with 3 copies of Iron Man
128,
Demon in a Bottle, whatever, I got 3 copies. Some people
126 too. I hope there's that really cool cover where he's like all like angled. Yeah, I have a runner in my house that put that on it. The 126.
Oh, the little rug runner type thing? Yeah. That's cool.
It is very cool.
All right, well, let's move on to number 4. This one has bitten me in the buns more than once.
I just spoke about this. Yep.
Not checking the condition of the book before you buy it. I don't know how many times, not many, but several times I've bought a book, and here's the most common one, is I'll I'll get home, I'll open up the book, and to the centerfold, and the staples are detached from one or more of the centerfold pages. The cover will still be attached, which I would have probably saw that through the bag if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But those centerfold one or two or three centerfold pages all detached from one staple or both staples.
Yep.
That has happened to me at least 3 or 4 times in the last year. And I just kick myself every single time because I didn't take the 2 seconds to either ask for permission or ask them to do it or just do it myself and flip through the book. There's just a few things you got to check, like interior, you can see like water damage better. So you want to look at the pages for that.
Yep.
You want to check the staples, especially for rust. You can see them better from the inside. And the back cover, which you just mentioned a minute ago.
I bought the Watchmen #1 and I get it home. I take it out of there. I put it in my own bag and board. And the back cover is folded over, big crease. The whole thing was folded over. I should have checked. Yeah, well, that was $50 down the drain. Well, I mean, I still have the book, but it's not a $50 book, not by any means.
$25 definitely down the drain.
Yeah, at least. For sure.
That's the worst. Now, here's the question. Let's say, you're somewhere really busy. Let's say you're conventioning and like it's probably poor form to go to through people's inventory and just start opening it. Although like I have done it, but like I'm very careful and I'm gonna, if I do damage, I would tell them, but like they probably wouldn't appreciate it. So what do you do in that scenario where it's like he's super busy? There's 12 other people in front of his booth. I got these 12 or whatever comic books that I'm going to buy and you want to check them all. Like it is inconvenient at certain venues to do that. What is the solution?
Well, I think for like a lower dollar, anything like $5 and under, I'm just kind of take it at face value.
Okay.
And you're going to get burned.
Once in a while.
Absolutely. But you're not out a whole ton of money.
So you have a threshold before you're going to bother the guy.
If it's like around a book that's like around, $20 and up, I'll just ask them, hey, do you mind if I check this out? Do you mind if I open these and check? Just as a courtesy. I've seen some people just start taking books out. And I always want to check first. Hey, do you mind if I check this?
Right.
If I open it. And they're going to be fine with that, 99% of the time. Now you get into like $50, I'm having them do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to, can I see this book? And I hand it to them. I want you to open it. I want you to take it out of there because if it gets dropped, you don't take the tape off and it snags on the cover. I'm not going to be the guy that does that. $50 and up, I want you to open it and hand it to me.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I think if you're spending like the $20 range, check it out. Check the book out. $20 and up, you need to be checking that book.
Let's say you do pop it open and you see the crease on the back cover or you see the centerfold page is detached from the staple or whatever. Man, this doesn't matter. This isn't like what you should do. I'm just asking Matt, like what he would do. Would you put it back and say pass, or would you say like I'd like it? Like, would you start haggling based on that condition?
Well, it depends. Like that Watchmen #1 book that he had for $50.
Yeah,
I don't want it. It's got a fold in the back. It is creased. And I mean, it looks like somebody that's been like that for a long time.
Sure,
that's like a permanent fold over. No, I'm not interested in that anymore. But if it's a book that's like, say, $200 and there's some minor flaws and it's a little lower than what it should be, I mean, the price a little higher than it should be, then I'm going to do some haggling. And I'm going to look at the book and I'm going to play it up. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, yeah. And I would ask him, hey, what's the best you can do on this?
Sure, yeah.
I go, because this has got some issues. I'll be honest, this has got some issues. What's the best you can do on this? And if they bring it down a little bit in a little more a price range that I'm comfortable with, then hey, okay, you got a deal. But if they're not willing, they say, hey, that's the price. That's the price is the price. Okay, here you go. Thank you.
What is and I'll say mine first. What is your #1 no-go? I won't buy it no matter what. For me, it's water damage.
Detached cover.
If a book has water damage, I'm
detached
out.
Cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's like Amazing Spider-Man #1 with a detached cover?
Well, there's always the exceptions to the rule.
Okay, so you have a line.
Yeah. If I have an Amazing Fantasy 15 and the guy wants $1,000 for it and the cover isn't attached, I'm buying that. Yes.
Right.
Obviously.
But in outside of the realm of fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, a normal book that I'm buying for $200-$300, whatever, the cover's detached, no thank you.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either on that, but my big number one, like it's like, oh, this book looks great, but it has water damage. No, thank you.
Well, I think it depends on the water damage too. If it's just discoloration, it's like some minor discoloration, I'm okay with that.
That wavy thing.
When it's all like crinkled and wavy, pass.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, bottom line is, especially once you're getting over that $1 and $2 and $5 books, pop them open, ask for permission, pop them open, check the condition, make sure the staples are attached, not rusted, make sure the back cover is good, make sure that there's nothing like a value stamp missing on the inside,
Yes.
Check all of that stuff out.
Yeah.
I've overlooked it several times, like I said, and I always kick myself.
Yes. Yeah. You will never, ever regret checking.
Right. All right. Well,
you will regret not checking.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's move on to number 5.
All right, number 5 is not knowing the value. I can't tell you how important that is, of not knowing what a book should be priced at, and you go somewhere. Conventions are really bad about this for overpriced books. And even some comic shops, they overprice things, like way, way overpriced. But mostly I see this at comic conventions. They have these insane prices on books. Something that like listed $1,000 and it should be $500. You see that stuff like that quite a bit. So yeah, know what you're buying, know how much you should be spending, and so it's just that should be, you'd think it'd be common sense. So there's several ways that you could check about the value of a comic and what your budget should be and what for the condition that it's in. Usually the condition of the book for me changes. If it's a newer book, a more modern, I'm expecting that to be in much better condition.
Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice on a modern book.
Okay, yeah, so now you're getting to like books from like the 70s. Okay, now I'm looking for something in like the very fine range.
Yeah, okay.
That's acceptable for me. You get to silver,
very good.
Now my bar is lowered to like fine, the fine range.
Yeah,
I'll buy silver books in the fine range, no problem whatsoever. Sometimes even lower, depending on how expensive the book is.
Yeah, if it's a big key.
Yeah, if it's a big key book and it's a 4, but it's a nice looking 4. Hey, I'm your guy.
Right.
Absolutely. Because that's the thing. Just because it's a 4 doesn't mean it doesn't look like it doesn't look good.
Oh, I had a Amazing Spider-Man number 39, the Ramita with Green Goblin cover.
Oh yeah, I have that.
I had that a while ago. It was a CGC graded 4. It looked fabulous. I mean, like, I don't know how it got a 4. I never asked. But like, yeah, 4s are fine if it's a nice looking 4.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
My Spider-Man 129 first Punisher signed. Yes, I got it signed by 3 people: Lee, Ramita Sr., and Conway, the writer. Signed by 3. It's a 7.5. It looks gorgeous, but it's a 7.5 because the back cover's torn. Little tear, big tear, missing pieces? It's a good couple inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks fantastic. And really, I mean, it's hard to see the tear.
Yeah.
If you flip it over, you have to really look. It's along the bottom, on the middle of the cover. But it's there. So
let me ask you this. No, you want to know the value, right? Let's say you're at a comic book store. Let's say you're at a convention. And not a busy one, like you're being paid attention to by the vendor. That's the point, right? What is the protocol? What is the decorum? Is that the right word? Of yanking out your phone and price checking right there on the spot in front of them. I always feel kind of like a D-bag doing that, but like I see people do it all the time.
Well, see, that's why
I don't know. I don't know where I
have my list.
Well, no, I know you do, but for like the average person, for even
have a list.
Okay, let's pretend you don't have a list. Would you tell a person that said, "Hey, is it uncouth? Is it rude to yank my phone out and price check this guy standing in front of him?"
I see people doing that, and you know what it immediately makes me think of is when I see someone doing that. It's like you haven't been hunting for that book.
Yeah, right.
Because if you really were looking for that book,
you'd know what it's worth.
You already know.
Yeah, you
would know what you're looking for, and you know what you're willing to spend on it. That makes it look like you're somebody that's just going to you're a flipper. You want to buy that to sell it somewhere else. That's what that makes me think. Is that the case?
Maybe
every
not.
time? Probably not.
Yeah, no.
but that's what comes to mind when I see that.
I think that more often than not, what I would think, not that I see this happen often, but what I would think is it's actually the person that's not narrowing their focus enough, and they're like, "Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that."
That's possible too.
And they're just like, they have such a wide range of I'll take almost anything that they can't possibly remember what everything is worth.
Yeah,
it's probably a lot of that too.
So have your list and already have what you're willing to spend, because you can base what you're willing to spend on what condition you're okay with buying. And have in mind that, okay, like I have, I want this Ghost Rider number 19 and I'm willing to spend $40. But I'm looking for that in the very fine range. But then if you see one that's going to be near mint, of course that's going to be more expensive. So go in knowing that. So you know what? I'm looking for a very fine Ghost Rider number 19 and I'm willing to spend X amount of dollars. But here's one that's even in a better condition and it's only a little more. That's up to you. That's a judgment call on you. But it should be within the range, an acceptable range for you. Because sometimes you find them even in slightly less better, condition that you're willing to accept, but the price is too good to pass up.
Yeah.
That happens quite a bit.
So bottom line though, price checking the guy at his counter. Do you think that's poor form? Do you think it's okay to do? Where do you stand on it?
I would probably step away and do it.
Well, let me ask everyone that's watching, leave it in the comments below. Is it uncool to price check the vendor standing at his counter in front of him, holding the book in your hand? I really do feel bad about doing it, and I haven't done it a lot. But the idea of I'm thinking oh, what if I was there? And
when I see people do it, I'm then what I said before, immediately thinks that you're just buying it to flip it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that, go walk away, come back.
Am I right? Probably not,
no.
But that's what it makes me think.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
If I had to check the price on something, I would step away and do it.
All right, well, let's put a pin in that one, and let's move on to number 6. So this is a big one, and I might get a little, preachy on this one. Number 6 is not sticking to your budget, but specifically for me, which we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I think this is the key point. Using credit cards and going into debt because you're going over your budget.
Yeah.
Don't pay interest on collectibles and comic books. We've all done it.
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
I've done it.
If your budget for
and
this...
I've learned my lesson.
if your budget to, whether it's just a random entertainment budget of I could spend $100 a month or $100 a year, whatever it is, and then you're suddenly going over that, and it's causing you to not only have to sacrifice other areas in your life, I'm not feeding my kids anymore.
Oh,
don't do that. But especially,
if you can't feed your kids, don't collect comics, man.
No, but especially, don't go into debt.
In fact, sell the ones you got and feed your family, man.
Right. But yeah, don't put it on the credit card. Don't pay high interest rates on something that you don't need. This, I used to have, I guess technically I still have it, wristwatch collecting channel. And as you probably know, wristwatches can be insanely expensive. And that was always the biggest thing was oh, I want an Omega, it's $5,000. Oh, I want a Grand Seiko, it's $7,000. Oh, I want a Rolex, it's $10,000. And these people would ask the questions in the comments about should I just put it on my credit card and pay the 5% interest, which would be an amazingly good credit card rate. And I always say, no, just save the money. Save it up, and when you can afford it, then you buy it. Yeah.
Because I've done it in the past before, and like I said, I've learned my lesson, man. Well, just wait. It's gonna happen to you. You're out somewhere. You've at a convention. You've bought a bunch of comics, and you're down to you only got a $200 left in your comic budget. And oh my God, you see this comic that you've been looking for, and the price is fantastic. What a great deal! Oh my, I can't believe I finally found this book. But you don't have the money for it. But you got a credit card in your pocket.
Or there's an ATM machine over there.
It's tough to be in that position. It really is.
Just say no.
Just say no, man. I know it sucks.
This is the point in the video where everyone stops watching. They're like, screw you guys, don't tell me what to do.
You'll find another one later.
But let's get a little bit more macro on it. Like, let's just say you're like, oh, I'm in the market for, I'll pick a more key issue. I'm in the market for the first appearance of Omega Red, and this is a $25 comic book, plus or minus. And it's a nice little modern key. If you want to collect key issues, we mentioned this one in a previous video.
Yeah.
If your budget for this book is $20 and someone's selling it for 25 or 30, just wait for the $20 one. You'll find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you can afford it, even if it isn't going to put you through hardships or cause you to go into debt.
Yeah.
Don't overspend just because it's there and it's accessible and it's available and you're in the mood to buy something.
Yeah. Going into debt over a hobby is never a good idea. Like I said, I've been in that position before. I know it sucks, but that's just the harsh reality.
I was at the little comic book store that we've talked store. Did I say shore? That we talked about in the past, where the guy is selling his own personal collection and he doesn't do new comics, this and that. Well, he had, and we gave it away recently, the Wolverine miniseries, and I overpaid for it. I admit it. I was there. I didn't have it in my collection, and I was like, oh well, he probably wants about like 30% more than it's really worth. And I was like, but I'm here and I'm in the mood to buy something and I'm going to get it. And I bought it.
That dopamine hit. Yeah.
And then, I'm not joking, 2 days later, a guy that I buy comics from routinely posts on social media, like every couple of days, like, here's some stuff I'm selling, blah, blah, blah. The Wolverine limited series run. And he had it for like half the price. I'm not exaggerating.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I'm going to buy this one. And then I guess I'll give away the other one.
Yeah.
But the half price one was in better condition than the one that I overpaid for. And the one I overpaid for was in decent condition.
Yeah.
But like, not only did I overpay for it, but it was in less condition than I really should have gotten in the first place.
Yeah.
Long story short, I get it. You just want to get something and you're antsy and it's fun and you get caught up in the moment, especially when you go in person. It's actually why I like shopping online more than hunting in person. I'm way more likely to just pump the brakes and be like, nah, because it's not like an instant transaction.
Yeah.
So I can pump the brakes more easily.
See, I like more having them in hand.
I know there's aspects to in-person shopping that are way, way better. Don't get me wrong. But in this particular case, I rarely overspend when I'm shopping online. I rarely buy things that I don't want or need when I'm shopping online.
Okay.
Get those books in front of me, though, and like, I don't know, restraint flies out the window. It happens.
Yes, we've all been there, but just we've all made these mistakes before. So learn from our mistakes, please. All right, number 7 is not haggling or bundling your books.
We just got 800 nasty comments from comic book dealers because of this one, I bet.
Probably.
Sorry, comic book dealers, this video is not for you.
Yes. There is, put in the effort, and like I said haggling or bundling, because a lot of times the comic sellers will happily bundle a bunch of books for you. Like if you have if you're willing to spend $500-$600, more times than not, they're going to want to work with you. A lot of times. And some people are going to say, this is no haggling. It's the price is the price. Well, then if you're happy with that price and the condition it's in, then hey, okay, great. But nothing hurt. It doesn't hurt to try. Say, hey, you know what? I'm getting ready to spend like $300 in comics here. What's the best you can do on these? And if he tells you, well, whatever they're priced at, well, you know what? If you're happy with that, then okay. If you're not, maybe you shouldn't have pulled them out of the box in the first place.
But it never hurts to ask.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask you.
No.
And, sometimes if you're dropping a few $100s, they're willing to work with you. And you know what? You might come back. So, because I can't think of a business that doesn't like repeat customers,
Yeah.
Except for funeral homes, maybe. Well, with them coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then especially bundling too is fantastic when you're dropping a lot of money, and they'll, if you buy, some of them already have it set up like that, where if you spend X amount of dollars, you get 10% off. If you spend this amount, you get 20% off. I've seen that several times.
Oh, sure.
And that's always cool. And man, I mean, what a great idea. Like, oh, if you spend $800, I'm giving you 50% off. You're like, wow, I'm saving so much money. No, you're spending $800.
Right.
You know?
Here's the big bundling one for me because I do so much online shopping. When you buy multiple books from the same seller, they will often combine shipping.
Yeah.
Let's say, and this happened to me recently, I was working on Poison Elves, Drew Hayes series from the 80s and 90s. And I don't know, I've got about the first 40 or so issues. And I was like onesie twosieing them from different dealers, and it was like $6 shipping here. I mean, we're talking about $3 and $4 and $5 comic books, but then it's $5 and $6 and $7 shipping. But then I found a guy that had a ton of them, and I got like issue like 7 through 30, and it was like $12 shipping. So I saved like $6 30 times by just bundling into the combined shipping thing.
Yeah.
So when you're shopping online and you're going to buy something from someone, try to like figure out what you need and what they have and get it all bundled into the same package.
Yeah, and most of the time it makes more sense to buy a full run of a book rather than doing it piecemeal. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a scenario where someone is selling a full run of a series versus, 1, 2, 3 books, you're buying them one at a time. When you're buying a full run, it's almost every time you're saving money.
I've never not done better.
Than buying one at a time.
Even if I wind up with some duplicates.
Yeah.
And what works out to be better.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. But at least make the effort, this, hey, what's the best you can do on the, and I mean, if you're buying one book or two books, for like $5 each. Don't be a cheapskate, man. I'm talking about if you're spending like a few $100s,
My threshold is $50. If I'm going to buy a $50 or more book, I'll say, hey, can you do anything for me?
Or if you've checked out the book and it's in lower condition than you think justifies the price.
Well, yeah, that's a different discussion, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know what? Like if you have a disagreement about the grade of the book and what you're willing to pay, then be grown-ups about it and say, I'm sorry, that's just too much for me, and give them the book back. You don't have to be rude about it. Just, be polite, of course, get more flies with honey, But yeah, there's nothing wrong with just, trying to work with people to get you a better deal. They want to make money and you want to save money. There's a middle ground in there somewhere.
All right, here is one that actually has gotten a lot worse in recent years because of something called facsimile editions. And what we're talking about is not knowing the difference between subsequent printing, so second print, third print, so on, and then reproductions. In particular, like I said, facsimiles look very close to the original comics. I mean, they're supposed to be the same. Of course, the paper is usually a little different.
Oh, yeah, the paper's different and the price is different.
But you could easily overlook that stuff if you were not pulling them out of the bag and you're just flipping and be like, oh, look, it's New Mutants 98. But you don't notice the barcode here on the bottom is the facsimile version, or that the price up here is different. You don't know
to look for those things.
Right. So
if you're newer to collecting, you're going to think you found a gem.
There is one that is, Matt mentioned it to me, and I don't know for sure. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original Mirage comics, not issue number 1, although there are 3 printings of the first issue that all look identical. But the second issue, my wife once bought me a copy of issue number 2, and it wasn't cheap. It was a few $100s, and no idea how to tell if it was first print or second print. There's no indication on the book at all to differentiate between the first and the second printing. I don't know. She could have got swindled and bought a second print. She maybe paid $300 or whatever the price was at the time for the first print. We don't know.
Yeah, I saw a video someone made. I mean, I can't vouch for its validity, but someone made a video about how they had sent a book out to be graded to, one of the grading companies.
Probably CGC.
No, it wasn't CGC. I believe. Okay. I don't remember. It was not CGC though. It was one of the smaller grading companies.
CBS something.
CBCS or PGX or one of those. And he had sent out a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, first printing. Not the highest grade in the world, but, to him, it was...
Still a big book.
It was a gem for him. It's still a big book. And he gets it back, and, he came back in a higher grade than he expected. He's like, this is unusual. And he was aware of some of the major flaws in the book. He's like, wait a second, this is not my book. He cracks it open, it's a third print. So yeah,
Someone stole his book.
someone swapped out his book, not expecting him to notice it. And so, yeah, you should be aware that there are some second, third printings of books that look identical to the first printing. So again, you should know what you're buying. And some of them have minor differences. Like, so there's like, I know First Cable, his first appearance, it's gold.
No. The first appearance is an orange background.
The orange. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the second printing has a gold background.
This is New Mutants 87.
87, yes. So be aware of that. And there's also
the first the first Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man 361 also has like a slight color difference.
Yes. So know the difference between the printings before you pull the trigger on something. Make sure you check.
Now, 9 times out of 10, on second and third and fourth printings, you can just open it up to the copyright page, and it'll tell you right there on the bottom on the interior copyright page. But like I said, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2 did not have any copyright information, so I couldn't tell. There's like things on, and this was a long time ago. This was 10, 15 years ago, so like there wasn't like the wealth of information on the internet that there is now.
Yes.
So it's probably a lot easier to identify. But back then it was like, there was just sort of like, I don't know, almost like rumor kind of sites where it was like, well, if the printing is more of like a checkered board kind of in the color area versus this, it was like all like very wishy-washy, not really definitive suggestions on how to tell if it was first or second printing. Which also, actually, this is another one. Cry for Dawn, issue #1, notoriously has a counterfeit version of it. So there's Cry for Dawn #1, and then there's the counterfeit. And the way that you tell if it's a counterfeit is that the printing is slightly worse, such that the artwork where the clouds are above the Dawn character does have a kind of like a crissy-crossy, poor printing pattern in the clouds. And that's the only way to really identify it if it's the counterfeit.
So yeah, if you're out there looking for a key book, know what you're looking for. Know what the reproductions look like. Know what the second, third printings look like. There's also like an Avengers #4. They have a golden record edition.
Oh, this Amazing Spider-Man #1 has one of those.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if I would know.
They're considerably cheaper than the original.
Yeah.
So there's things like that to look for too. So do your research. If you're spending some money on these things, so do your proper research and know what you're buying. Don't fall for a second or third printing. 99% of the time, these sellers are letting you know, hey, this is a second, third print. This is a reproduction. They are telling you, they're upfront about that. But sometimes people aren't, fully knowledgeable about what they're selling. So yeah, just do your research. Right, #9, buying from sketchy sellers. And this is mostly online sellers. I don't think I've ever met what I call a sketchy seller in person. This is people you buy from online. Mostly, I buy most of my comics that I would encounter something like that would be like, say, eBay. And I only buy comics from like other like trusted online sellers that I've never had issues with.
Yeah.
But like eBay, usually it's pretty easy to tell. If it's too good a deal, it's too good to be true.
New account, no feedback.
Yeah, not a lot of feedback. They've got this, a great book, at a fantastic price, and they've got 3 feedback, all from the same person.
In the last month.
Yeah. Don't buy that. Do not buy that. You're like, oh, this is a great price, and they've got, 0 fee. Don't buy from them. I'm telling you, don't. It's not hard to pick out the sketchy sellers. Or if they're like their photocopy, they're crappy photos, the item description, like they don't even have one. They're not hard to spot. Just don't get suckered into too good a deal, because like I said, if it's usually too good to be true.
Would you consider a person? I mean, this isn't a blanket like yes or no. I don't think, but let's say someone's got this comic book listed up on eBay for sale, $10 or whatever, $20, whatever it's worth, right? And it's just on the title, X-Men #4, 1991, Jim Lee. And the description basically is nothing. And there's a price. And there's one picture of just the cover in the comic in a bag and board. So you can't evaluate the condition at all.
Yeah.
Is that a sketchy seller, or is that just kind of a crappy seller? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do we draw the line between?
Well, if they are scamming you, it's not for a lot. But maybe they're going for, high volume. I don't know if they have like 1,000 comics like that listed for sale and they have almost no feedback. I'd be really suspicious of that. And yeah, you can't go through the time and energy to like just make, because I've seen people use stock images.
Oh, that's the worst.
No, I know. I want to see what I'm getting, unless it's, like
if it's a brand new comic book, that's like
I would never buy that as a comic like that, like using a stock image. Like, I'm sorry, and I want to see a condition.
If it's brand new, like just came out this Wednesday, I'll buy it. If it's
I'm
a stock
not buying
image.
new stuff on eBay.
Well, sure, but let's say for example, your dealer didn't get enough or whatever, and they short you on Conan issue number 30.
Oh, and you didn't get it, yeah.
Well, and I'm going to eBay to buy a copy of Conan issue number 30.
Okay.
Or if it got damaged in shipping or whatever, right? So in that scenario, like I go on eBay and they just have a stock image of Conan number 30. I don't care. I'll just buy it because it's brand new comic.
Or maybe you jumped on a trolley a little too late, and
been there.
You didn't order them in time, and your comic shop said I can't order anymore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You got to catch up.
So you're pre-ordering it from like say eBay, and you can't because it's too late to order them online because they've already made their orders and stuff. Yeah, I could see something like that. I think I see what you're saying. I've never had to do that. But yeah, I mean I think that'd be fine. But again, the people that are usually doing that, they have like feedback of 22,000.
Oh yeah, they're big stores.
They're established eBay sellers.
Yeah.
If you got a guy, same scenario, and he's got like 2 feedback, get it from somebody else.
Sorry, guy with 2 feedback.
Just maybe pay the extra couple of bucks just for the peace of mind. But yeah, somebody with no feedback, a lot of negative feedback. Yeah, steer clear, man. Steer clear.
But yeah, so I'm still trying to determine though, because I hate it when I go to buy a back issue, right, an older comic book, and they just have the one picture of the comic book in the bag and board. Like, I don't think they're there to rip me off in so much as that they're going to send me this comic book, but I can't tell if it's very good or very fine because all I see is this
it should be in the item description.
So, and I run across this like online on eBay in particular. I mean, I'm not exaggerating if I say 2/3 of the time. 2/3 of the time, there's one picture and no grade in the description or the title, and like it's just laziness. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm not
work.
going to buy from them, even if it's a new book, because
I'll roll the dice sometimes. I will.
Yeah.
And like it's bitten me in the butt a few times for sure. I wind up with the book and I'm like, oh, this is way worse than I was expecting or hoping.
Yeah, I would recommend not buying from someone like that. And they could put in the minimal effort just to tell you, at least say, hey, this is going to be bagged and boarded and unread right off our shelf. At least take the few seconds to do that, or at least cut and paste that from their previous listings,
Yeah. What about, you probably haven't done much of this, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. I got hosed on Facebook Marketplace. There's there's Marketplace, and then there's Facebook groups for buying and selling comics, right? I don't remember if it was Marketplace or one of the Facebook groups. Doesn't really matter. Someone was selling, first comic I bought getting back into comic books back in last August, I guess. I've only been back in it for not quite a year. I was like, I want an Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's one of my all-time favorite comics. That's what's going to kick off my collection. So I go on Facebook, one of the groups, or in the marketplace, and I find someone that's selling it. And they were in Sarasota, which is only about 2 hours from where we live, if that. So I'm like, okay, so I should get this in like a day or two. Like, no big deal. It was normal price. It wasn't like a too good to be true deal. There's a little bit of a feedback system on Facebook, but it's not nearly as robust or complete as eBay. But like he had some like transactional history. So I'm like, okay, here's the $400 or whatever the price was. It was in that ballpark. And never hear from the guy. I sent him a message a couple days later. Hey, did you ship this yet? And he's like, no, I'm going to ship it tomorrow. So I message him back another day and a half later. Did you ship it yet? I need a tracking number. So much so that he eventually just buys a shipping label and gives me a tracking number, but it's clearly not attached to a box because it never goes beyond the label created status that you see when you go to the UPS or USPS website. So after about 10 or 12 days of now, he just starts ignoring me every time I message him. So after 10 or 12 days, I paid him through PayPal. I opened a case with PayPal. They gave me my money back, no problem.
There you go.
But there was no indication that this was a scammy seller up front that I could discern, other than it was just a seller on Facebook. So should you just approach every single like outside sale? Like
that is one of the
potential
things. Like if you're using PayPal, you do have that option because they have to be able to prove that they sent you something.
Mm-hmm.
So he created the shipping label, but he never mailed you anything.
Not even an empty envelope.
So, yeah, at least, and also with the tracking, they would at least track the weight. So, yeah, you do have some protections for you on eBay, and the overwhelming majority of the time, they are going to side with the buyer, as long as you send them the item back. eBay will provide you with a shipping label and all that stuff. You just print out, attach it on there, and there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is a considerable, buyer protections on eBay for people. Being a seller on eBay getting scammed, that sucks because I've been on that end, at the end of that too.
Oh, where like somebody sends you back an empty box or like something along those lines.
Or something, they send you something different back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've never been screwed over completely on eBay, mostly because I've been on eBay for a very long time. I have an amazingly good track record on eBay. Like I have 100% positive feedback. The small things that have come up, because there's always problems invariably. I handled, very well, very professionally. I want to take care of my customers. I always did. I was treated them very well with respect, and any kind of small minor problems I had were quickly resolved. And so I think eBay does take that into account quite a bit. What your track record is.
Yeah.
And so you're saying, hey, this person is scamming me, and they've only been on eBay for like 5 days. And, they have zero feedback,
Yeah.
Again, it's usually pretty obvious. So everything is always worked out to my satisfaction doing on eBay transactions. But again, I haven't been selling anything on eBay. It's been a very long time. It's been a few years.
I sell a lot of like onesie twosie things on eBay. Yeah. Just like I decided I no longer want physical media, so I sold off all my DVDs, or like not old school DVDs, but like high res Blu-ray DVDs. Mm-hmm. And like, I sold like 30 of them or whatever. I do stuff like that all the time, but I'm not like an eBay dealer. Like I might have like extra comics that I don't need, and I'll throw them up there.
I've sold quite a bit on Facebook Marketplace.
Local stuff,
yeah. And what I would generally do is, because, not comics, but like statues, figures, things like that.
Stuff you don't want to ship.
I don't want to ship that stuff. It's going to be a pain in the butt. And I know what their value is. And I would usually factor in, okay, so I'm going to be doing a cash business, So I factor in a lot of things, and I make it like a very fair price, and I sell everything immediately.
Yeah.
And people come right to my house, and here you go. I'm not concerned about strangers coming to my house. I live in a neighborhood. It's, a lot of families everywhere. And it's always, I'm not having these people show up at, 10 o'clock at night or anything. It's usually going to be the middle of the day. Everybody's out and about. I'm not too worried about anything.
I have sold a ton of music gear through Facebook Marketplace, local stuff. Because again, it's just big and heavy and hard to ship. Mm-hmm. I've never once had a problem. Everyone always says like, oh, never sell on Craigslist because the Craigslist killer will come get you or whatever. Or like I've done Craigslist too. But my point is like, never once have I ever had anyone show up at my house. Yeah, usually has it been a problem?
You could tell they're like a weirdo from like your whatever small interactions you would have. Usually,
no,
because I've had a couple like, okay, this guy sounds really weird. It's I already sold it. Sold to someone else. Sorry.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, let's move on to the last one, number 10: biggest mistakes in comic collecting. So this one is, applicable because we were just talking about it.
Yeah, this all goes online with online
sales. You're looking at a comic and the seller's just got the book, a picture of just the cover. It's in a bag and board, and there's like a bunch of glare, like maybe that, and you can't really tell like what's going on with the condition.
Yeah.
Number 10 is read the entire item description first, and then if necessary, reach out and ask for photos or information.
Yeah.
And if they're not willing to fulfill your request, don't buy from them under any circumstances. Like that is a huge red flag for online sellers. If they're not willing to send you a photo, if you ask for a picture of the back cover, if they're not willing to answer a question, any question, just a simple, even yes or no question, if they just ignore your incoming messages, walk away and find a different seller.
Yeah, especially if it's like an older book you're willing to drop a little bit of money on. Absolutely ask for some extra photos.
Yeah.
Say, hey, can you send me photos of like the corners, the spine, the staples? if this you're willing to drop like $500-$600, absolutely, they could take the few minutes that it would take to make those photos and send them to you for a few $100s.
I asked a guy once because he had, I think he just had the front and the back photos, and it was a Cry for Dawn comic book. But in that era of the early to mid 1990s, the publisher Serious Comics, notoriously, in my experience, all of those comics staples are rusting at this point. Like, I don't know if it was like some zinc or, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was not a normal stainless steel staple, right?
Yeah.
And every single time I'd open up a comic book from the 90s from that publisher, Serious Comics, I mean, I say every single time, but like 75% of the time, the staples are rusted, right?
Wow.
So I'm looking at buying, I think it was a Cry for Dawn, or maybe it was just Dawn. Cry for Dawn was published by their own little publishing company. But regardless, a Joseph Michael Linsner Dawn comic from Sirius. So I send the guy a message. I'm like, hey, can you tell me, because I can't tell from the pictures, because all I see is the top and the back, and I don't really see the edges, and certainly not the interior. Are the staples rusting on this? Because my experience with these comics is that very often they are, and I'd prefer to, not buy one that has rusted staples if I can help it. No response. Okay, I mean, and it's not an expensive comic. It was $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I guess I'm not going to buy this from you if you can't take the time to just say yes or no and send me pop it open to the centerfold and take a quick picture. Forget it. I'll find someone else.
Sure, absolutely. Or like we said before, like if they can't be bothered to like just listing basic information about the book, like the condition it's in and stuff like that, move on. Go buy from someone else that does put in the effort. Absolutely. Don't waste your time with sellers like that. And you know what, though? Hopefully they'll learn their lesson and say, you know what, maybe I should start including a little more information. They
never do. They never learn their lesson.
That's why I said hopefully. Hopefully they learn their lesson. But yeah, there's no problem with asking for more photos. If you're spending some money, or at least a lot of money, if it's a lot of money to you, then yeah, do your due diligence and, ask for additional photos if you'd like to see more photos. If they don't want to send them to you, then don't buy from them. If they have an attitude with you about it, or they don't even reply at all, and you know what, move on. It's their loss. But yeah, and also make sure you read the item description, because a lot of times they will say, hey, I got this comic, and there's
I've done this. I'm sorry, I've done it, and I'm an asshole for doing it.
The cover's detached.
It was in the description the whole time.
It's in the item description.
I've done it, and I felt like such an a-hole. I was like, I'm sorry, you're right. I didn't look.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will admit when I'm wrong, and I will apologize.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is not the norm. All right, it's most of the time the sellers are accurately depicting what they're selling most of the time.
Sure.
But there are the times where they'll take grainy photos. Like I just bought I just threw down and I bought me an Iron Man, a Secret Wars figure. Oh, yeah. An Iron Man figure. Yes, I treated myself. Treat yourself.
How was the blister bubble?
That's the thing. The
nice,
photo
nice and clear?
He had a good price on it, but the photos were grainy.
Okay.
I asked the guy, "Hey, can I see some better photos?" He responded within an hour of these crystal clear photos. I'm like, sold.
Nice.
It wasn't a great price, but it was a fair price. And I asked him if I could see some better photos. He sent them immediately, and I bought. You know what? Sold. Great. That's a fair price. I didn't even try to ask him anything else about it. It looked great. There you go. So yeah, if they want to sell it, they're going to work with you. That's what just happened to me, and now I got me a 1984 Secret Wars Iron Man figure on the way. Mint on the card. It looks great.
And then you're going to pop it open the minute you get it?
Oh, yeah. I play with all my stuff.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah. I have Dr. Doom's castle, and I put him on there, and Captain America comes in with his turbo bike. Oh, it's so much fun. I'll have you over.
Well, we are going to have to do the video of your toy and figure collection at some point.
We do have to do that. But Guy's going to have to come over.
It's such a big undertaking.
It is going to take some time.
I think it's going to take a minimum of 4 hours. We have to be able to allot 4 hours to it, I think.
Yeah, and if I talk about everything and
setting
how I got
up,
it, where I got it, and oh my God.
And do I want to bring lights? There's a big light there, and there's a big light there, and there's a light back there. Do I want to bring lights?
Yeah.
The microphone? It's going to be it's going to be worth it because his collection is absurd. But
it's not my entire house, just like a big section of it.
It could be a store. It's enough to be a store.
It does look cool.
That's nice. But yeah, read the description, ask for additional photos, and if they're not willing to accommodate you, don't hit your hand on this little table, but just move along, find another dealer. And here's another thing that I'm not bashful about asking about because of my experience with having bad shipping delivery experiences. Ask them how they're going to package it. Ask them, or don't even ask them. Just say, this is how I need it packaged. Can you accommodate me? Online sellers, if they're, and usually they're going to lie and say like, yeah, no problem. But like, at least you have that record. So then when it does come damaged, you'd be like, you said you were going to do this and here's how it came. So don't be bashful about asking or expecting them to package and ship it securely, no matter what it is, whether it's a comic or a toy or a figure.
And yeah, it's been my experience on eBay, because if you buy an item and you get it and it's damaged and you request a refund and they send you a label and you send it back, there's no feedback to be left.
Correct.
So you're not going to know that this has happened to other people. So this could be a reoccurring problem with that seller. So if it does happen to you, you get the item damaged, first reach out to them and say, hey, I got this item, it was damaged. If they're cool and they're good sellers and they have good customer service, they go like, oh my God, so sorry about that. Here's a refund, send it back to us.
I had one recently.
No problem.
I sent you pictures of it or a video. It was a collection of 25 Spider-Man comics and one other comic. And the guy stuck it in a box, a 12 by 9 by 6-inch box. He had one chunk of like bubble wrap paper underneath and one chunk on top. But there was this much space on the left, right, and top and bottom edges. And when I picked up the box and shook it, and I don't mean shake the
rattling around.
I don't mean shake the heck out of it, but just like this. Chugga, 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 chugga. And I was like, oh, I better videotape the opening of this box.
Oh, goodness.
Which I did.
Yeah.
And every single one's lower corner was bent.
Yeah, read the feedback.
So I messaged the guy, and I was like, hey, man, these came damaged. Like, learn to pack, noob. Yeah. And he says to me, well, how much of a discount do you want to keep them? And I was like, listen, I replied, I'm like, number one, I don't really want damaged comics at all. Number two, I think I paid him close to $100 for these 26 comics. I said, number two, if I were to ask you for the discount that I would be happy with, it would be absurd, and I don't want to offend you.
Yeah.
So just give me my money back.
Yeah, and when I've had that happen on like lower value books that I've purchased before, where they tell me, you know what, I'm sorry about that, just keep it. And they send me another one, or they refund me the money, just tell me to keep it. That doesn't happen all the time because it doesn't. I don't get that experience a lot, not nearly as much as Guy. It happens to me very rarely, but I've had that happen. It's really cool.
I've had them say just keep the books a few times, and that's never my goal. And they refund me, of course, right? But like that's never my goal. I'm never asking for my money back plus to keep the books. Yeah. But in this
usually
case,
it's them saying that. But if they say, hey, we want them back, yeah, there you go, no problem.
Well, the bottom line for me is I don't want damaged books. I didn't buy books damaged to get a discount. So like, I bought issue 1 through 25 of Spider-Man volume 57 or whatever. Exaggerating, but there's been like 13 volumes of Amazing Spider-Man now. And I bought the first 25 issues of the 2018 series. And like, I don't want every single issue to have a bent corner. So like, it has virtually no value to me. The 25 Spider-Mans was $50, and then that one extra book was a $50 book. So it was a nice kind of expensive book. And they all had that same ding. And he's like, well, he says to me, like, what kind of discount would you want? And I said, like, the $50 comic, I wouldn't pay more than $10 for. And I'm not going to ask you for a $40 discount.
That response tells me that that's happened to him before.
He was expecting it. He didn't care. Yeah. He was like, these may make it, they may not. If they don't make it, I'll just give them a discount.
Maybe you should take that extra money you'd spend on a partial refund and
pack it good.
Spend it on packing material.
So instead of falling for the trap of rewarding this guy, I was like, no, I'm going to send them all back. Yeah. Send me a label. Yeah. And then he asked me, he's like, well, can you at least put, because it was 2 separate orders. He was like, well, can I send you 1 label so I don't have to pay for 2 labels? And I was like, no, I need 2 labels because eBay expects them to be shipped and tracked separately.
2 things.
Sorry, you're out the cost of 2 labels, but I can't help you. Anyway. So yeah, definitely aside from the reading descriptions and asking questions and asking for videos, ask about their shipping if you're not sure.
Well, I will say this also. When I was selling stuff on eBay books, I mean, I didn't sell anything that was under $100 because the profit margin wasn't worth it for me. It wasn't worth my time and energy to sell anything under $100.
Sure.
I would always have paid for the extra insurance.
Yeah.
And that did cut into my profit, but God, it saved me so many headaches.
Here's the thing about insurance, though, and it depends on who you're getting it from. USPS's insurance versus eBay's insurance that they'll sell you are two different things. But for USPS to pay out an insurance claim, you have to have packed the package, whatever it is, correctly.
Yes.
And to them correctly, I think it might be 2 or 3 inches of space around the entire object.
Yes, sir.
And if you do not have it packed such that it is protected from the interior walls, they will not, they won't pay out.
Well, that's why I would package everything properly.
Of course. So you never actually had to use the insurance.
Crazy me. I packaged my thing. No, I've had to use it before.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Even with proper packaging, you've had damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, because the thing got ran over.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was destroyed. This was a graded book that was clearly run over. And the guy said, "Oh my God, I got this book." He didn't blame me.
Yeah.
It was horribly mishandled. And he sent me photos of the box, and I'm like, "Okay, I need you to open it up and take photos of the unopened box, how you got it, then photos of like what it looks like inside." And he pulled it out, and it was destroyed. And yeah, I sent those photos off to the post office, and I got my refund within a matter of days. It was incredibly easy.
Cool.
Yeah, for the full amount. And I'm like, clearly this book has been just obliterated and destroyed. And because it came in one of those plastic, if it's ever happened to you, like something you mailed gets absolutely destroed.
And they'll just stuck it in a plastic bag.
They've taken this big plastic bag that says, "We care." I'm not kidding you. It says, "We care."
No, they don't.
And the thing, I'm like, well, you didn't care about this. But yeah, and that's why I would insure everything every time, and it saved me so many headaches because I would tell the buyer straight up, "Hey, this is fully insured for the full amount. You have nothing to worry about if this gets damaged en route." And I think that acted a lot of times as a deterrent.
From scammers, you mean?
From scammers to say like, "Oh, I never got my book," or, "Well, that's BS because we can track it." Like, "Oh, I got it. It was damaged." Well, there's you can file a claim with the post office.
Send me some pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, yeah. Let's wrap this one up. I think going on 5 o'clock already.
Our time.
Yeah, Florida time.
Central.
So bottom line, these are just 10 of the many, many mistakes that you could make as a comic book collector, new or experienced. You know, a lot of these things I could still overlook even today.
Yeah, if you got some more tips for new collectors, let us know.
Yeah, I think everyone has experienced something where they've been like, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to leave some comments and help out some new collectors, absolutely. We love hearing stuff like that.
Alrighty, well, with all that said, let me say thanks again, as always, for tuning in and watching. We greatly appreciate it. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, and I've said that an hour too late because nobody's still watching. But if you want to help us out, click like, click subscribe. We would appreciate it. And we'll wrap this one up by saying, as we always do, keep collecting comic books. That's, what keeps this whole thing going for us. Keep watching our videos because without your support, there's no reason for us to make these videos. And of course, until the next one, bye now.